This is objective 8D, proving congruent triangles, and we're going to do a few examples. I will be able to prove two triangles are congruent is our goal. And our first example says, what other information would you need to prove triangle ABC is congruent to triangle DCB? So we have a diagram here. Two triangles, one within the other. And we're trying to figure out if we can prove that triangle ABC is congruent to DCB. The first thing that I like to do is I like to separate these two triangles. So the two triangles that I'm trying to figure out if I can prove that they're congruent are ABC. So I'm going to try and make a triangle that looks like ABC. And then I'm going to go ahead and make another one of those triangles. Didn't have quite enough room here. So there's A, point B, point C, and now I'll try and make another one. A, or D, C, and B. And I'm going to go ahead and label those A, B, and C, and it looks like AB is congruent to this one. And if I look on my second triangle, it looks like D is up here, C is in this corner, and then the B is in the other corner. It's like we flipped or took the mirror image of triangle DCB. Now there is some more information that we know. We know that line segment BC is congruent to line segment CB because those are the same line segment in our original diagram. So we do know that we have those two pieces of information also. So now that I have the two triangles separated, I'm going to kind of disregard the original diagram. So I'm going to go ahead and just ignore that, and so that you can ignore it a little bit better, I'm going to shrink it down so that it's nice and small. Looks like that. Okay. So now we can focus on these two bigger triangles and see if we can't prove them. Okay. So far we've learned two different ways to prove that triangles are congruent. We can either use side, 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 or we can use side, angle, side. So if we were going to prove that these two triangles are congruent, we either need to know that AC is congruent to DB to use side angle, or I'm sorry, side, 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 or we would need to know that angle ABC is congruent to angle DCB. So if I knew either of those two pieces of information, I would be able to prove that those two triangles are congruent. Since I don't know that information, I can't prove that these two triangles are congruent. Example B, I have a figure here, so I'm going to try to explain why there's not enough information to prove that VWX is congruent to BUT. So far, I guess I can start with what information I do know. I know that TU is congruent to WX because it is given, or the markings were given. And I know that UV is congruent to WV because it is given. And I'm talking about these given markings. And then there's one more piece of information that I can tell here. It's not drawn in yet, but I know that these two angles are congruent, so that would be angle TVU is congruent to angle XVW. And the reason that I know that those two are congruent is because they are vertical angles. So now I have two sides and one angle. So it kind of looks like a side angle side. However, if you pay attention to where that angle is, it is not in between the two congruent sides. So to use side angle side, change colors. To use side angle side, we would need these two angles that are congruent. And I don't know if those two angles are congruent. I don't know if angle U is congruent to angle W. So I can't prove this. Triangle VWX is congruent to triangle VUT because I don't know that angle U and angle V are congruent. Alright, so I guess that's it for some new examples. This example B, those two could be congruent. I just can't prove it with the information that's given. But I guess that's it. Alright, have a great day or evening, and don't forget to write your summary and your question.